Now at 5, Oklahoma's governor signs a bill to eliminate the state sales tax on groceries. Plus, the school district in Arma, Kansas announces it's moving to a 4-day week. And
the president's son testifies behind closed doors in connection with the House GOP impeachment inquiry. I'm Natalie Brand with new reaction from members on the committee and Hunter Biden's statement.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Shoppers in Oklahoma will pay no groceries tax come August. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Amber Jenkins is live in the studio, joins us with more.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signed a bill that will eliminate the state's portion of the grocery tax. The state's tax rate will decrease from 4.5% to 0%. The new tax cut will affect food that is taken home and prepared food. However, on-site meals don't qualify. This comes after a 5-year bipartisan effort to make groceries more affordable.
It's not going to save me anything, but I think it's going to save my peers that work really hard. So I feel like it's going to be helpful for some people.
I'd like to see the money that's taken away from the grocery tax. Where is it going to be replaced? How will it be reimbursed?
The cut will be effective in late August, 90 days after the session ends. Dow, back to you.
Amber, thanks. Students in Arma, Kansas can expect their school weeks to get a little bit shorter. The school board voted earlier this month to have students go from a 5-day schedule down to only 4 days each week. The district superintendent, Dr. Ray Streeter, says the decision comes after a lengthy process of research and weighing the pros and cons. Overall, he says the school district agrees this is the best step to keep teachers and students more engaged and energized during the school year.
I really feel it's going to be a positive impact. I mean, like I said before, with the teacher retention and the recruitment side of things, hopefully reducing absenteeism. But research shows that there's no real drop off in academics. That was my biggest concern going into it, but I've done a lot of research on this. And through our surveys, I feel like it's going to be a very positive thing.
One group the decision does affect would be school bus drivers, but Dr. Streeter says most bus drivers also work as custodians and says there will still be opportunity for those drivers to obtain hours during the school's off days. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Well, obviously, it turned out to be a much colder day for us today after record highs, mid-80s yesterday, and then the big drop for us last night. So we've only been hanging out lower 40s today, 39 in Stockton, 41 Neosho, Grand Lake sitting at 42, 41 is where we stand in Pittsburgh. Plus, it's been a little breezy, northwesterly winds kicking in, and these are going to diminish as we go through the evening hours, which is good. If you are going to be outside this evening, it's a cold one. We slide back through the 30s, eventually upper 20s later on tonight, but pretty much clear skies. We are tracking our next little wave out across parts of Arizona into New Mexico, which will start to affect us tomorrow night. So we're going to break down that forecast, look at the weekend here in just a bit.
See you soon. Hunter Biden testified before the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees leading the GOP impeachment inquiry. He appeared after months of negotiations, threats of being held in contempt, and political stunts on both sides. Natalie Brand has more details now from the Capitol Hill.
The president's son arrived on Capitol Hill Wednesday for a marathon deposition behind closed doors in connection with the House GOP impeachment inquiry. In a statement, Hunter Biden said he did not involve his father in his business.
I'm telling you that this is a waste of time and we need to get back to this people's work. Defiant and dishonest would be the way that I would describe his testimony.
The more than year-long probe by House Republicans centers around allegations that President Biden profited off his son and his brother's foreign business dealings when he was vice president.
With every interview, we've learned new information, and the basis of what we've learned is that the Bidens didn't have a legitimate business. Their business was selling access to Joe Biden.
Democrats say there is no direct evidence of wrongdoing by the president.
We had a dozen witnesses who had told us that Joe Biden was not involved in any way in Hunter's business, that he did not profit from Hunter's business, and that he rendered no official favors or benefits to Hunter's business.
The probe suffered a setback this month when a key witness was arrested and charged with lying to the FBI. He claimed the Bidens had taken a bribe. Alexander Smirnov, an ex-FBI informant often cited by Republicans, is accused of falsely telling investigators the president and his son accepted $5 million from the Ukrainian energy firm Burisma. The DOJ says he was communicating with Russian intelligence.
They are now trying to scramble to find anything to substantiate their fairy tale.
Republicans insist their inquiry does not rely solely on Smirnov's testimony.
Joe Biden was doing the bidding of Burisma. He was doing the bidding of Chinese communists, and his family was getting enriched as a consequence.
They say they will press on with more subpoenas and witness interviews. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Republicans also say they plan to issue a report and hold a public hearing on their findings in the future. Big shakeup on Capitol Hill today as Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell announced he's going to step down as the Republican leader of the Senate, although he plans to finish out his Senate term. McConnell, who turned 82 last week, is the longest-serving Senate leader in history. He held the position within the GOP for almost 2 decades. His Senate term ends in January of 2027. Another gun case is before the U.S. Supreme Court. This one, a challenge to the legality of a bump stock ban. The Biden administration has upheld that Trump-era ban. Bump stocks allow semi-automatic weapons to rapid fire like machine guns, which are illegal. A decision is expected in June. Still ahead, the history of a name.
It has a name that will twist your tongue. I'm Ian Lee with how to pronounce this famous sauce.
And next in Health Watch, how a student organization is pushing to increase the number of black doctors. Topping today's Health Watch, COVID increased some healthcare disparities between the rich and poor. A major study published in JAMA Network Open found low-income cancer patients were more likely to die at home and have less palliative care during the pandemic. The study's authors say more needs to be done to provide equitable access to health care. More kids playing sports could save the U.S. $80 billion in healthcare costs. A study published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found playing sports didn't just improve kids' physical health, but it also reduced anxiety and depression. Youth sports participation nationwide declined during and after the pandemic. This Black History Month, a student organization at Jefferson University aims to increase the number of black doctors. Stephanie Stahl has more.
Dressing for success, these second-year medical students at Jefferson Sidney Kimmel Medical College are members of black men in white coats.
With the intention of trying to increase the number of black men going into the field of medicine, it's a very challenging journey, and it's a journey that definitely does require a lot of assistance.
Kevin Carolina is a founding member of the group, inspired by his own experience.
As I see the impact that the lack of diversity has on health outcomes within people that look like me.
The CDC says black people have higher rates of disease, health complications, and death. Part of that is blamed on a historic lack of trust of white doctors and not being able to find medical professionals of the same race. The Association of American Medical Colleges says diversity in medicine is improving, but still only 5% of doctors are black.
Although our numbers are rare within medicine, we're working to improve that and just kind of up those numbers as well.
Nathan DeLocht is also a member of Black Men in White Coats.
When I was younger, I never really had any role models who looked like me.
Here training in a simulation lab.
Checking his airway, make sure everything's clear.
These future black doctors are supporting each other and hope to inspire more to be like them.
We're hoping to kind of enact change like within the school itself, bringing more black students to the school as well, but then also creating some change within the community.
They go to underserved communities with things like screening checks. The group is also working to improve access to better health care for black neighbors.
Ultimately, we want to uplift black voices.
Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
That is a look at today's health news. A little later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Judik from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about how to deal with a fence-jumping dog.
Plus another cold night tonight, but we are going to start to warm back up. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, a much colder day for us today. This is our first day that we've been actually below average for about a week and a half. February, of course, almost wrapping up. One of the warmest Februaries on record. We've had 22 days above normal, only 6 below normal. Of course, record high 83 yesterday, and then our high temp today is 42 degrees colder, but we are going to continue that upward trend as we go through the next few days. Looks good. Here's a nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But check out the 24-hour temperature change, 35 to 40 degrees colder right now compared to what we were at this time yesterday evening. All right, we're going to slide back through the 40s, 30s. Upper 20s once again later on tonight, so kind of a cold night. We're at 37 in Monette, 42 Anderson into Bella Vista. Pittsburgh 41, Parsons 43. Veneta is sitting also at 43 degrees. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline 41. West, northwesterly winds are light. Visibility is good. It's just colder outside. It has been windy today. The winds are going to diminish tonight, but start to pick back up once again as we get into Thursday afternoon. And as our relative humidity is fairly low, you can see 15 to 20%. Still, we have a little bit of a fire danger, so you definitely don't want to burn as we go through the next couple days. And then that moisture will start to rise again tomorrow night. All right, pretty much clear skies across the region. Not a whole bunch going on for us right now. Any rain down to our south, but here's our next little wave, and then another wave behind it, which will start to affect us Sunday. This first one is weak, but it's going to rotate in by the time we head into tomorrow night. All right, let's go through time tonight. Partly cloudy skies, upper 20s. So it's going to be a cold night. As we go through the morning hours tomorrow, we warm upper 40s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, most of us are going to go into the mid 50s. 55 in Nevada, 54 in Anderson, Parsons 53, 53 as well in Miami. Weak little wave rotates through tomorrow night. Some hit and miss, very light showers, but it could mix with a little bit of sleet. It doesn't look like it's a big deal, but something we'll watch. And then as we go into Friday morning, most of this is gone. So we're going to start Friday with clouds, and then we'll break out, see sunshine, and temperatures shoot to right around 60 degrees by the time we head into Friday afternoon. All right, day planner for you Thursday, 28 in the morning, 49 by noon. High temp, right around 54 degrees, and we can walk you into your weekend. It looks pretty good. Look at this, mid 70s Saturday. The winds will start to pick up. Sunday, also mid to upper 70s. Some clouds will increase, very windy on Sunday, and even a few isolated thunderstorms will try to pop up late Sunday night and into Monday morning. 54 tomorrow, 60 on Friday, back to 76 on Saturday, 78 on Sunday with a few afternoon, evening thunderstorms. A little bit cooler early next week, but overall temperatures bouncing right back and looking pretty good.
Yeah, the weekend looking fabulous.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, how the Treasury Department is using artificial intelligence to catch more fraudsters. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Uncle Sam has a new weapon designed to catch bad guys trying to steal from taxpayers. The crackdown is powered by artificial intelligence. It looks for unusual transaction patterns to stop check fraud. U.S. Treasury Department officials say they've recovered $375 million in fiscal year 2023 alone. They say the focus on AI has led to multiple active cases and arrests. Their goal is to alert banks before fraudulent checks ever are cashed. Hey, move over Apple Watches and Fitbits. There's something new in wearable technology. Motorola's new smartphone comes with quite the twist. As you see, the company showcased its bendable smartphone at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona this week. Looks like a regular smartphone, but it can be placed on a person's wrist as a bracelet to free up an extra hand. How about that? It's a favorite sauce at the dinner table and backyard barbecues. You can even find it behind the bar. It's pronouncing its name has bedeviled the best of us. Ian Lee travels to the source to hear how to say it once and for all.
Lee got tripped up.
Being myself Portuguese, I struggled in the beginning as well.
How did you used to say it?
Worcestershire.
The spicy sauce put this English town on the map. Despite its difficult dictation for some,
Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
It rolls off the tongue for locals.
Born and bred in Worcestershire. Not Worcestershire, Worcestershire.
It's so hard, it just left that guy speechless, apparently. Worcestershire is the correct pronunciation. That sauce was invented in the English town by two pharmacists. It's now exported to more than 100 countries all around the world, including the United States of America, of course. Worcestershire sauce. Our pet vet on call up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, a new mom died after a hospital wasn't prepared for her urgent need. CBS News investigation looks at whether corporate greed is to blame. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more reaction to Oklahoma eliminating their state sales tax on groceries. Plus, Missouri Republicans will pick their nominee this weekend during the presidential caucus. We're going to tell you where you can take part. And several Pittsburgh high school baseball standouts signed to continue their careers at the college level. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, a reminder to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports. You can just download the KOAM News app. Doesn't cost anything. You'll find it in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. You've heard the expression, good fences make good neighbors. Yeah, well, today's question for our pet vet on call, how can I discourage the neighbor's fence jumping dog from coming into my yard?
Ooh, this can get complicated because you're dealing with getting along with your neighbor and brotherly love and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing I would do is visit with your neighbor and tell him that this is kind of a problem for you. Maybe you two can come up with a solution that'll work for both. If not, there's a way that you can put a top rail on your fence that's a hollow tube on a solid bar. So when the dog jumps up there, it'll roll him off and back into his yard. Or you might need to spend a little money and put up a high privacy fence. It might cost a little bit, but it might save your relationship with your neighbor.
Hey, we invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. First, from the Joplin Humane Society, we have Shotzi. It's a 1 to 2 year old female Labrador Retriever mix. The shelter says she has a high energy level and she loves sitting by her person. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we've chosen Rilo, a 2 year old Pit Bull Terrier who they say loves hugs and playing in water. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? But what a difference a day makes. Yeah. It was hot yesterday. It was cold last night and this morning, and then it's at least chilly right now.
Yeah, we set record highs yesterday, and then we plummeted over 60 degrees. It was amazing. Like 61, 62 degrees, which is crazy. And then we only got into lower 40s for us today. As we go into Thursday, 54, we are going to get a few random light showers tomorrow night. Back to 60 on Friday, 76 on Saturday, and then pushing 80 by Sunday. A few random little thunderstorms late on Sunday, but most of the weekend looks pretty good.
Yeah, highs in the 70s again by the weekend. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.